Welcome, and this is Impact 2022, our continuing conversation where we talk about a bunch of different topics, where we talk about current events, where we talk about race, religion, and all of the different things that come into play. And just like every week, I say to everyone, please feel free to type in your questions and your comments into the comment section uh, so that we can have our continuing conversation. And so, as you type in your comments, as you type in your questions, we will read them, address them, and we will jump right into it. And so, just like we usually do, we'll hop into a topic. All right. And today, what we're going to talk about is a movie that just came out not too long ago. And this movie was called Buzz Lightyear. So it's a brand new film. It's called Buzz Lightyear. It's for little kids. For anyone who knows, it's about Toy Story, and there was this character. He's kind of like a superhero, and it gave his whole backstory and the everything around that. So Buzz Lightyear backstory, but there was a little bit of controversy with it, and the controversy came into play when, in a couple of different countries, they decided that they weren't going to show the film. And it's because they had they call it the LGBTQ scene. So basically, it was a scene in the movie where they had one character who was a female who ended up marrying another character who was a female, and there was a brief kiss. And so, as Singapore was one of the countries, and as the country said, they were banning the movie. We're not going to show this movie. We don't like that scene. And then there was an uproar. Not a major uproar, but a little bit of uproar here. And what happened was that the people here, the creators here, said that they wanted to make sure that scene was in there. Disney, who puts out the film, was getting ready to cut the scene, but the creators of the movie said that they wanted to make sure that they had that scene in there for whatever reason. And so that's where we're at today. And I'm gonna bring in Vince, Reverend Cox, and we'll just discuss real quickly that issues. And again, as you want, please type in your comments. Vince, how we doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today, Deacon Watkins?
Pretty good. Were you able to hear the intro? So the first question I'm going to ask you. So basically, some of these countries have decided that they weren't going to show this cartoon because it was a controversial scene for them, where it was two people of the same gender, two ladies in the film kissing. And this is a cartoon. And mind you, I haven't seen a cartoon out of Vince. I don't know if you've seen a cartoon either. So we're not talking from a place of we saw it and we're talking about the quality of the cartoon or anything like that. But the first question basically is, do you think that another country who has different values, you think it's okay that they decided that they're not going to show the film? Is that something, because there's a lot of people who had some negative comments towards these countries. Is that something that they should be able to do?
Well, I think each to their own. I can't dictate the way someone feels about something. I mean, if the film industry feels that it is, that it's not suitable for their audience, then, I mean, so be it. I mean, we just can't infringe on another country's the way that they feel. But it's the bottom line is just the way that they feel. I think the Lord calls for us to, if they see it as a sin, to love the sinner, not the sin. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm just going to just say it as plain and simple. It's a cartoon, for heaven's sakes. It's just a cartoon. I think that kids going to be the way that they're going to be, regardless of how we bring them up. I mean, I'm not going to say that Jewish males are, that they're gay or anything like that, but they're feminine. They're on the feminine side. So, I mean, some of them, not all Jews, Jew males when they're young. Maybe they think that this causes some kind of confusion with the child, with the small audience. That's my take on that.
Yeah. So even here in the United States, there was some controversy. One theater decided to post just a caution, a warning outside of the theater. Warning. Not outside the theater, but warning about the content of the movie. For me, there's two ways to look at that. There's on the one end, it's like, oh, do you do that for all your movies? But then on the other end, as you said, these are movies for kids, and sometimes parents do have the choice of when and how they want to raise topics to their kids. Do you have a problem with the movie theater in Oklahoma that posted up the sign?
Well, I can't say that I have. I haven't seen the movie. Maybe I need to review the movie and see just how far it went. Man, that's a tough one because.
Yeah. Well, let me stop you. I haven't seen the movie either, and I just want to remind people. This isn't a situation of where we've seen the movie. We're going on the topic, but from what I heard from a friend of mine who actually saw it, he said that it was so quick he didn't even realize it was in the movie.
Wow. So I guess I'm gonna have to say, what's the big deal, man? Some people just, unfortunately, people got to have something to complain about, something to have a difference about. And but it goes back to like what I stated earlier. If they don't want their children viewing that kind of material, then that's their choice. Honestly, I don't think it's gonna make or break the kid. So a lot of kids will probably say, "Ooh," when they see stuff like that. They do that when they see mom and dad kiss. They're like, "Ooh," So
right.
That's how I still see that. That's a tough one.
And you know what? I think you're 100% right on that. What you said is so true. When it comes to kids, they don't care who's kissing. It's gross.
Right.
It's gross.
Absolutely.
And there was a story about not too long ago. I was listening to this gentleman tell a story. He was basically saying when he goes to the movies with his children, if there's a scene that he doesn't want them to see, he's going to cover their eyes. And he said, "Look, that's what I do on every movie. It don't matter what movie it is. If I don't want them to see it, I'm going to cover their eyes. But I'm not going to not go to the movie." And that was his position. And it wasn't about one type of topic or another. It could have been somebody punching somebody. It could have been, somebody robbing somebody. Whatever he felt was not appropriate for his kid to see in that particular movie, he was going to cover their eyes. So on a certain level, do you think it's more the parents' responsibility to make that decision, or how do you really look at that?
Absolutely. It should be. The filmmaker is going to make their money regardless. Whether they show it here, there, or whatever, they're going to make their money. Even if it's a flop, they're still going to make some money off of it. So people gotta, parents may want to sit back and look at that. I think a lot of parents have this. This is something that caught me off guard. I can't remember if it was on the news or Newsy. But it was on some news panel where they were asking kids if they wanted to be a boy or a girl. They were asking little teeny kids this stuff. And I'm like, why would you put that kind of pressure on a child?
Yeah.
So I guess maybe some parents are looking at it from that perspective. Why would you want to put that kind of perspective on a child? Why would they think that that's going to make their child decide that they're going to be gay, or if I'm allowed to say that, why would they think that their child is going to decide to be with the same sex? A cartoon or a movie is not going to. In my opinion, it's not going to sway a child's mind, and that goes back to what I stated earlier. Some kids are pretty smart. They might say, "Ooh, mom, two girls just kissed on the TV," or it happens on commercial. All right, this is going to blow your mind a little bit. Now, even with that situation with Toy Story, what about all these commercials on TV? Come on. It's everywhere. I mean, it's everywhere. How's we can't stop it. It's not one of those. Well, I don't know if it's one of those things that we're supposed to stop, but the bottom line is, even if they saw that on a cartoon, so they need to stop showing the commercials here, there, and everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my stance on that. I mean, if that's how those parents feel, or how these groups feel, then maybe they just need to stop showing these commercials as well about gay people or whatever, the LBQ. I don't even know the acronyms, to be honest with you. But maybe they just need to reconsider that as well. If they're going to do that, then maybe they just need to knock it all off. Maybe we just shouldn't have TV at all.
No TV at all. That's honestly that makes a lot of sense. Bring in Trey. Trey, can you hear me?
Hey, yes I can, brother.
Right. Welcome on the broadcast as well. So we're gonna change. We're gonna same topic, but we're gonna switch a little bit. And so just to bring you up to speed, Trey. What we're talking about is the movie cartoon Lightyear, Buzz Lightyear, and it was the spinoff of Toy Story, and there was controversy because there's a small scene in there and I haven't seen it. Vince hasn't seen it. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a small scene in there because it's a kids movie where there's a female character and another female character and they kiss, and then they're supposed to be married. And then there was a controversy and uproar from some people. Some countries, Singapore and some other countries, decided that they weren't going to show the film. In Oklahoma, there was at one of the movie theaters, they decided that they were going to put up a warning sign about the film. And so that's where it is. I know there's a lot of controversy around Christians and LGBTQ and all of this kind of stuff. And so for both of you, I'm going to ask both of you the question. Trey, I'm going to go first, and then Vince, I want you to come in. Somebody comes up to you, and they're saying, man, did you see what's happening with this Buzz Lightyear and they're kissing in the cartoon? As a Christian, what is your response? What do you think about that? Trey, what would you say?
Okay, spiritually, now you said it was the same sex.
Yeah, it was a girl character and another girl character who were married and they kissed in the cartoon. Okay,
and so typically these Pixar movies, they're PG, right? Parental guidance.
A lot of them are G.
G. Okay, so we're talking about younger than that. Yeah, so we're talking about the ages predominantly. We're talking about all the way from about toddler to about 9 years old.
Probably.
Rated G movies. Yeah, 10, 11, man. Morally, I'm as a man of God, I feel like that's a little too young, man, to expose them to all that sexual stuff, man. And then off of my belief, spiritually, spiritually, man, God made man first, and he saw that it was good in the book of Genesis. He took the rib of Adam and he created a mate, which was Eve, and he saw that she was good. God made man and God made woman. So we talking about spiritually, I haven't read anywhere within that Bible to where he condones same sex, and not even just that, but we talking about at a young age, man. Mm-hmm. My babies, man, my kids, man, they don't need to be seeing all of that, man, at 4 years old, man, 5 years old, man. I would rather, that come at an appointed time when it need be, there's the playful thing and there's the friendly thing, man. But the serious thing, you know what I'm saying? You know how kids play, even when you kiss your children, you know what I'm saying? But anything beyond playful, man, is unneeded and unnecessary.
Yeah.
And if I'm approaching it as a man of God, then I'm not with it, man. The last. Go ahead, bro.
What I think you're making a very, and let me clarify this. You're making a very good point because it was extremely intentional. In a, they could have very well just had two women there. You know how you can do with movies and television. You have two women there, you have two guys there. Whatever you want to see is what you're going to want to see. So, like, if you want to see those two guys or those two women, Bert and Ernie, for example, that was a perfect scenario.
We came up off of that.
You want to see. When I see Bert and Ernie, I see two dudes sharing an apartment, kind of like you did after you moved out from your parents' house. And
they just cool. They just funny.
That's what I saw. Now, if you were LGBTQ or you just looked at, that's what you wanted to see, then you saw two dudes who was dating. But you see whatever you want to see. And so you don't have
you see what you want to see.
Right. And so if I'm a creator, if I'm making a movie or a show, I'll just put out something and then you see whatever you want to see. I'll give you another example.
Yeah. That's fair.
Luther Vandross. If everybody knows Luther Vandross was gay, but he sung songs. But when I hear a Luther Vandross song, he's singing about a woman. But
me too.
So you hear what you want to hear. But they were being very intentional by making it so that these two were married and these two kissed. So the point that you're making, Trey, is, they were directly trying to make a message towards these kids because they didn't have to do it the way that they wanted to do it. They could have made it so that these two were just in the same room and you saw whatever you want to see. So Vince, I'm going to jump back to you and ask you the same question. If somebody comes up to you as a Christian, what's your response when it comes to this Buzz Lightyear thing? What would you say?
Honestly, I'll be like, they out their mind, man. I mean, straight up. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm not with it. I mean, I don't like the sound of the scene, the whole 9 yards, man. I mean, we weren't designed to be that way, And then you have people that try to sugarcoat it and say that, some people have too many male leaders. Females have too many male leaders, and then too many females or males have female hormones. And man, I'm not buying that crap, because if that was the case, God would have designed you to be what you were supposed to be. Unfortunately, man, and if I offended anyone, I'm not going to apologize, because it is what it is. They made a choice. They made a choice to put that out there. And unfortunately, man, I mean, this movement that's going on in the world, that shows that it's going too far. I think it's going too far, and that's my take on that. I think it's going too far. When you start involving little kids in adult matters, it's gone too far. I mean, I'm not gonna say, because God is he's a loving God, but he's also he can be wrathful, and I'm not gonna say the monkeypox thing is a part of that wrath, but we see where the brunt of the monkeypox is taking place. And I'm gonna just throw that out there, and like I said,
that is an extremely interesting conversation.
It is. We all see that, brother. Like with sin, oftentimes sin, when something is unpleasing to the Lord, what does it bring about? It brings about consequences.
That's right.
Some of us refer to these consequences as wrath, as it says within the Old Testament. Man, the best thing to do, man, is just do what God say, man. Like you said, Vincent, and like you said, Nathaniel, these is children, these is babies, man. This is a G movie.
Yeah.
They don't need to be exposed to sex at all.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then with this political agenda of normalizing homosexuality, come on, man. Don't do that to my children, man. That's not fair, man.
Right.
And God don't like ugly, man.
And he's doing something about it. That's all. I mean, I think he's doing something about it.
It is an interesting conversation that to be had, because you say reasonable stuff and people call you crazy. Right. So if you said something reasonable like, I don't want I'll just put it in my perspective. When I was young, not that long ago. Oh, well, actually, it was a long time ago. But we didn't have sex education until 5th grade.
Wow.
right before we were going to middle school, because they wanted to make sure before you go to middle school and get real,
Right.
all the little kids knew what was going on.
Right.
But
right.
in that, and so 5th grade, I think that might be 9 years old. I'm not really sure. But they also did this. They sent a letter home to each parent and said, listen, we're going to have sex education. If you want your child not to have it, because it's a part of health, sign this piece of paper and they're not going to go. You had the choice as a parent to decide whether or not you wanted your child to go into sex education. My parents signed it. I went, but I had some friends whose parents didn't sign it and they didn't get to go. And it was a choice. It wasn't any, I'm going to force everybody to learn this same thing when it comes to those personal issues. Nowadays it seems like everybody has to learn the exact same thing. Like everybody needs to learn it the way that the organization wants to learn it. Do you feel like that's a part of the problem? Like that it should be a little bit more of each individual parent trying to teach people or make some more decisions when it comes to some of these topics that are more controversial? Trey, how do you feel about it?
Man, I think that right there is a perfect way to relate what's going on. Like, I feel as if Disney greenlighted this movie, Disney greenlighted that scene, right?
Yeah.
So they have created what often people call a grain. They tell you never go against the grain. But the Bible tells us that the Bible tells us in the book of Proverbs, the integrity of the upright guides them. Right. If the integrity of the upright guides them, but the wicked are destroyed by their own duplicity, I don't think that God wants me to just go with whatever appears to be the grain without using my discernment, man. He says that we are to be as gentle as doves, but as wise as serpents. Humility. But don't be green, bruh. Stand up for me. You know?
Yeah.
He loves us unconditionally. We are faithful. We stand because he is faithful. That's what the Bible tells us. Why we can't stand for him? You know what I'm saying? If the grain is saying that this is okay, I'm going against the grain every time, man. I'm cool with that. I'm content with the outcome of my decision.
Right.
I don't care about looking crazy amongst wicked people. I'm not with it.
Right.
I'm gonna go against the grain.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what my father told me to do, and my father stands up for me, so I'm gonna stand for my father, man.
Okay.
This is a dying world. I'm not taking none of this stuff with me. I'm not taking Buzz Lightyear with me in the next life. You can have this. Man, Lucifer, Satan, the fallen one, man.
Yeah.
He tempted Jesus, man. 40 days, 40 nights, man. Took him on the highest peak, man, and said, look, I'll let you have all of this, bro, if you just go ahead on and submit to me.
That's right.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Christ denied all the women. Christ denied all the money. Come on, man. He denied all the alcohol, all the food.
all the talent of the world. Pretty much.
Come on, man. I could deny this Pixar movie. You know what I'm saying? I could deny this Pixar movie, man.
Well, I'm gonna have to see it now, so I can really elaborate about it, because, man, now my curiosity is piqued on why would they do something like this, man. I mean,
there we go.
You know, why would they do that? I mean, realistically.
Yeah. Well, let me read this. We got a comment that came in, and then I want to get both your responses to it. It says, do they show films that show premarital sex, rape, etc.? Are films a reflection of society or of values? Remember that discussion on CRT. So let me get how you kind of respond to that. And the gist of it is, are these films supposed to be a reflection of what our society is like, or are these films what they want society to be like in our values? So is this they're showing what we are or showing where they want us to be?
I think they're showing where they want us to be. That's a bandwagon I just can't get on, man. You know, that's just a bad bandwagon. I mean, that's exactly what the effect is. It's called the bandwagon effect, because if you get on board with it, then you got on the wagon. And plain and simple. Plain and simple.
Trey, what do you think? Are they showing where we are? Or are they showing where they want us to be in these films that they're showing now?
Man, I think it's a little bit of both, man. I think that there is an underlying agenda, you know, people with their platforms, man, and obviously Disney has a platform, Pixar has a platform, you know. If they're showing this, that's an agenda. There are things going on in the world that Disney don't show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. And so I feel like, you know, when people are on the platform, it's almost like you zooming in on them. It's like you zooming in on them, man, with the magnifying glass, man. You know, people on the platform, and you pay a little bit more attention to them. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I have a platform and you know my name and you know my brand, let's say I'm Disney, and here I go. Let's get it, y'all.
Trying to boost the
same-sex marriage.
Well, I think they're also trying to boost their ratings too. So I mean, that probably has a lot to do with it too, because you know, Disney has a lot of underlying issues that they don't share with the general public. If I'm not mistaken, you know, like down in Florida, for instance, you know, people getting killed by alligators. How many times have we hear about people getting killed by alligators down in Florida? You know, at that theme park in that situation. You only hear about an incident if a parent has a camera or something, or someone's like, you know what, I'm going to share this with the press. So it's all about the ratings, though. That's what I think too. It's probably all about the ratings, you know. And I have to agree with you, Trey, that they are definitely trying to boost their agenda, you know. So, it has a lot to do with the ratings as well. And I think their ratings are pretty much down. You know, me personally, the Disney that I grew up watching, you know, like with Peter Pan, you know, I was like, you know, why would you show a dude flying around in tights, man? I mean, I had a problem with that way back when, you know.
Yeah.
But people are ruthless. You know what I'm saying? He was working up Dr. Hook. So maybe they need to go back to basics, man. I mean, when it comes down to Disney, teaching kids ABC, 1, 2, 3s, and so on and so forth. You know, that's another one of my takes on that.
Yeah. Well, fellas, this has been a great conversation. Our time is gone. You know, it goes quick. But this is a great conversation. I think it's important sometimes just to talk it through. Not that we have to talk, you know, we don't always have to have some people are like, man, we need to protest and do this and that. Not necessarily always do that, but sometimes we need to have a conversation and know where we stand on particular issues. And so on an issue like this, I know that I'm very clear on where I stand. I think just overall society's over-sexualized. It's just too early. If you can't drive until you're 16, if you can't drink until you're 21, you can't smoke until you're 18/21. We don't have to do all of these issues for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds. Some things are adult things.
That's right.
And so that, you know, but it's good that we can all talk and see where we stand on these issues. Because I think, you know, so I'm not saying go out there and pick it Disney or Pixar or, you know, but I do think that we all need to know where we stand. And it's very clear that both of you know where you stand. And hopefully anybody who's watching, you need to know where you stand. Like, where do you stand when it comes to these type of issues, your faith, everything like that? We're pretty much done with the time, but I'm going to give both of you quick 30 seconds to wrap it up. Just your overall general feeling about the whole situation of everything we talked about. Just any last words that you want to say. 30 seconds, real quick, hit it. Trey, what do you want to say?
Hey, he says, if anyone, he says, me or even if it's an angel, come to you with a different gospel besides the one that has been preached and which you have heard, let them be accursed. This is where we stand, guys. You know, the integrity of the upright guides them, but the wicked are destroyed by the duplicity. Grandmama used to say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Yeah,
that's that.
Yeah. Yep. Vince, closing words.
Well, my closing words are, don't subject your kids to anything that that can actually harm them in the future. We got too much going on in the world, and don't be showing that mess to my grandkids. You know, I mean, that's all the way I can put it, man. I mean, if that's how it's going down, I don't even want my grandkids to see it, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my opinion. That's my take on it. But if my son and my sons and my daughter-in-law do that anyway, they're gonna get an earful. That's all I got. That's
it ain't gonna be pretty.
I hear that. Well, fellas, I appreciate both of y'all. Everyone, thank you for your comments. As always, it's Impact 2022. We'll be here again next week, 8 o'clock, same time. Please join us for our continuing conversation. Thank you and have a good one.
God bless.
God bless.